Another Day, Another Story. The Silk Roads, A New History of the World, by Peter Frankopan provides a fresh perspective on world history, highlighting the crucial role played by the ancient Silk Roads in shaping civilizations, trade, culture, and political developments. Here is a general outline of what the book might cover.
Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel.
Introduction. Explanation of the importance of the Silk Roads as a network of trade routes connecting Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Overview of the book's objective to present a comprehensive history of the Silk Roads and their impact on global affairs. Chapter 1, The Road to Oxiana. Introduction to the historical origins of the Silk Roads. Exploration of early trade routes, including the connections between China, Persia, and the Roman Empire. Examination of the cultural and economic exchanges along these routes. Chapter 2, The First Crusade and the Birth of Globalization. Analysis of the impact of the Crusades on the Silk Roads. Discussion of the expansion of trade and knowledge as a result of the Crusades. Exploration of the interactions between East and West during this period. Chapter 3, The Black Death and the Transformation of the Silk Roads. Examination of the consequences of the Black Death on the Silk Roads. Analysis of the social, economic, and political changes resulting from the pandemic. Discussion of the rise of new powers and the decline of others. Chapter 4, The Silk Roads and the Age of Exploration. Exploration of the impact of European exploration on the Silk Roads. Analysis of the trade networks established by European powers. Examination of the competition and conflicts that emerged due to these new connections. Chapter 5, The Rise of Empires, the Silk Roads in the Modern Era. Discussion of the Silk Roads during the colonial era. Examination of the economic and political implications of European imperialism. Analysis of the challenges and resistance faced by the Silk Road civilizations. Chapter 6, The Silk Roads in the Contemporary World. Examination of the revitalization of the Silk Roads in the 21st century. Analysis of the geopolitical significance of the Silk Roads in global affairs. Exploration of the cultural, economic, and political exchanges facilitated by modern trade routes. Chapter 7, Cultural Exchanges along the Silk Roads. Exploration of the cultural interactions and exchanges facilitated by the Silk Roads. Discussion of the spread of religions, ideas, languages, and artistic traditions. Analysis of the impact of these cultural exchanges on the development of civilizations. Chapter 8, The Silk Roads and the Rise of Islam. Examination of the role of the Silk Roads in the spread of Islam. Discussion of the Islamic Golden Age and its contributions to science, philosophy, and art. Analysis of the impact of Islamic civilization on the Silk Roads and beyond. Chapter 9, The Silk Roads and the Mongol Empire. Exploration of the Mongol Empire and its influence on the Silk Roads. Analysis of the Mongol conquests and the establishment of the largest land empire in history. Examination of the economic, political, and cultural impact of Mongol rule on the Silk Road civilizations. Chapter 10, The Silk Roads and the Age of Exploration Revisited. Comparison of the Age of Exploration with earlier eras of Silk Roads trade. Analysis of the impact of new maritime routes on the Silk Roads network. Discussion of the interplay between overland and maritime trade during this period. Chapter 11, The Silk Roads and the Birth of Modern Globalization. Exploration of the connections between the Silk Roads and the rise of global trade. Analysis of the emergence of international trading companies and their impact on the Silk Roads. Examination of the economic, political, and cultural consequences of globalized trade networks. Chapter 12, The Revival of the Silk Roads in the 21st Century. Analysis of the modern initiatives aimed at reviving the Silk Roads, such as China's Belt and Road Initiative. Discussion of the economic, political, and cultural implications of these initiatives. Examination of the potential benefits and challenges of a renewed Silk Roads network. Chapter 13, The Silk Roads and Historical Memory. Exploration of the representation and interpretation of the Silk Roads in historical memory. Discussion of the impact of different narratives and perspectives on our understanding of the Silk Roads. Analysis of the preservation and promotion of Silk Roads heritage and archaeological sites. Conclusion. Summary of the key themes and historical developments discussed in the book. Reflection on the ongoing importance and relevance of the Silk Roads in shaping the modern world. Final thoughts on the potential future trajectories of the Silk Roads and their impact on global relations. Please note that this outline is a hypothetical representation based on the title and subject matter. The actual content of the book may differ in its structure and the specific historical events and perspectives covered. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.